Hey guys, it's the Cryptic Cinema here, and today I'm going to be doing another DVD and Blu-ray update. So let's get right into it, and the first one is the Region 1 DVD of Prince of Darkness by John Carpenter. This one is a pretty underrated John Carpenter film. This one and In the Mouth of Madness are quite underrated in my opinion. I do like In the Mouth of Madness a little bit better than this one, but still this is a great John Carpenter film, a very overlooked one, and I'm just glad I picked up the DVD for quite a cheap price. So that's the first one. The next one is The Mercenary. I've not actually seen this one yet, but it stars Franco Nero, who is a complete badass anyway. He was in quite a lot of old Western movies, and he's actually in the Tarantino Django Unchained as well. And I do believe he's in a few of the earlier Django movies. But this one just looked absolutely amazing when I watched the trailer, so this is one I'm definitely going to have fun with, I think. The next one is Zombie Flesh Eaters 2. This one isn't the best Lucio Fulci film of all time, but it is still a pretty fun Lucio Fulci movie. Basically, it basically takes inspiration from The Return of the Living Dead, whereas the first Zombie 2 basically took inspiration from Dawn of the Dead. And yeah, this one is pretty much exactly the same story as Return of the Living Dead. But you know, this one's got like a few characters that are quite military orientated, and yeah, it's quite a fun movie. It's like action mixed with horror, and I definitely want to check out Zombie Flesh Eaters 3, which was directed by someone else, not Fulci, but definitely would like to check that one out as well. But this one is not exactly the greatest film of all time, but it's just a kind of like fun zombie movie. Next one is a film that is absolutely amazing, Red Dragon. Sorry, Red Scorpion. I don't know what I'm thinking of when I said Red Dragon, but yeah, this one probably is one of my favourite action films of all time. And you know, Dolph Lundgren plays a pretty good role in this, and it's kind of an emotional film, and if you look at it in a certain way, you know, Dolph Lundgren's character is basically this secret military guy who gets sent in to Africa to basically to destroy some of the locals, the uprising locals, the Africa rebels, who are currently under the occupation of the Soviet forces and Cuba. However, upon arriving there, he sees the injustice and the morality against the what he's actually doing, and he sides with the African people to take out his own country in a way. But it is just such a great movie, very underappreciated, and in my opinion, a lot of people don't really like this movie, but in my opinion, it's such a great action movie, and it's got a lot of good emotional elements to it as well. And it's only been rated like a 5.5 on IMDb, which is very low in my opinion. I'd rate this at easily a 9.9 out of 10. Next is a trilogy of films. It's the Beverly Hills Cop movies. I'll show the first two first, as I can get them in frame. But this one is a classic from the 80s. I've had these in my collection for about 8 years. I've only just recently got around to checking them out. First one, very great action comedy, cop comedy from the 80s, of course, and then the sequel, which I didn't really enjoy as much, but it's still good for what it is. And you know, Eddie Murphy is a comic genius, although I don't really laugh out loud out of his humour. I just kind of like watch it for, I don't know, he's pretty funny, but I don't think he's laugh out loud hilarious in his movies. In his stand-up, he's a genius, and actually in Coming to America is actually pretty hilarious in that, but in these, his humour was a little bit tame, in my opinion. But still, it's those two. And then the third one, which I might get hated for this, but this is my favourite out of all three. It's directed by John Landis, which I actually didn't know until I actually checked it out on IMDb. And it's just such a fun movie. It's the most fun out of all of them, in my opinion. Especially the scene in the mechanic, the garage scene in the beginning with the two mechanics dancing to the Supremes. And it's just such a great movie. Yeah, definitely would recommend this. Great John Landis film. Next is a cheesy 80s comedy. Not many. It's like comedy, action, horror. It's like got everything in this. Not many people know about this one. It's pretty not very well known. But yeah, I think at 88, I got this from 88 Films for about $2.99 as well. But yeah, such a pretty underrated action comedy cop drama, whatever you want to call it. Basically about two cops, one of them gets killed and gets brought back to life in this hospital that's conducting experiments to bring people back from the dead, and they're using that to their advantage, and it's pretty dodgy, but anyway, yeah, they've got to work together with one of them undead and one of them obviously still very much living, and it's just such a great movie in that respect. Vincent Price plays a very small role in this, which is revealed at the end of the film. But yeah, Dead Heat, very good film. Next one is a film that disappointed me quite a bit actually, and it's Hot Pursuit. I am a sucker for good artwork and fell for that. The artwork was brilliant. It is a John Cusack film, and I do like John Cusack as an actor, but it was kind of shitty. It had a lot going for it, had a lot of great adventure aspects. Basically, John Cusack's girlfriend goes on holiday, and he pulls out last minute because he thinks he's failed his exam or some bullshit reason. He's upset with that. And yeah, last minute he just tries to get there on time in his own way, and it's pretty ridiculous, to be fair. It's not really very funny, even though it's supposed to be a comedy film. And yeah, this one kind of just dragged a little. Sweet 16, great slasher film from the 80s. As I said before, I got this one from 88 Films, was having a sale, and yeah, just pretty underappreciated slasher movie. The acting in this is by far superior to the most slasher movies from that period, and yeah, I just definitely would recommend this one. It's one that not a lot of people seem to talk about as well, with a great twist ending. Next is a crocodile movie, Blackwater. It's like survival horror movie, Australian survival horror movie, and about these guys that go, I think they're on vacation or something, and they go to check out the rivers, and their boat capsizes, and there's basically a crocodile or alligator or crocodile that's out to get them. But yeah, I don't know, this one, for the first hour it was pretty boring, and then the last 20 minutes it seemed to really pick up. But yeah, for the majority of the film it is just basically 3 Australian people stuck in a tree with not really much else going on, not really a lot of suspense. I think it could have been way better. But I'm a fan of creature type movies, so that this is definitely one to check out anywhere. I still need to check out Lake Placid, but yeah, that's a pretty good one. And finally, the Blu-rays. So the first 2 I'll show is the Die Hard 2 and Die Hard with a Vengeance. Die Hard 2, definitely not the best Die Hard movie of all time, I'll be honest. It is literally just the same plot as the original, but it's based in an airport, and John McClane's doing the same shit. It's based at Christmas time, and it just feels like you're watching the same movie And in my opinion, if you're going to watch Die Hard 2, I'd just switch the original on. Die Hard with a Vengeance, completely different story, in my opinion. This one is an absolutely amazing movie, and Jeremy Irons plays such a great villain who actually has a connection to the villain in the first movie. I won't spoil anything though. But yeah, this is such a great, in a way, it's kind of like a buddy cop movie, with Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson is in this. Such really quite good scenes in this, with the two of them together working against Jeremy Irons' plot to sort of like destroy the city. But yeah, I was definitely pleasantly surprised by this, especially after the disappointment of Die Hard 2. I have heard this was a great movie before actually checking it out anyway, but it was nice to just really once again sit down and enjoy a Die Hard film, because I've always been a fan of the original, but it does have a scene where, an incredibly racist scene, which I don't think you'd be able to get away with now. Well, it's not that it's racist, it's just that it's, you know, the film takes a direction and it just kind of holds you back for a second because it kind of shocks you a bit. I won't really spoil anything to do with that, but Die Hard with a Vengeance is such an incredible action movie, and you know, I would just definitely recommend it. It's such a fun movie. And the last one I picked up in this update is a film I saw in the cinema, and that is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Great Tarantino film. I don't know if I'll have the same effect. I don't know if it will have the same effect on me when I watch it in home. But I know for a fact at the cinema it was such a great experience on the big screen, you know, surround sound in that, in a big cinematic environment. It was just absolutely blew me away. I went to go see it twice. Margaret Qualley's character in this is very sexy in my opinion, and she should be right here, right on the front cover in my opinion, because she did play a bigger part in the role in the movie, and I just think she should be featured more on the front cover. A lot of feet in this movie as well, which I guess that sucks if you don't like feet, but Tarantino does, so you know, you just got to roll with it, and it works for his movies, so I definitely recommend that. Margot Robbie doesn't really play a great role in this. She is fantastic, but her role is, she doesn't really have a lot of screen time. She plays Sharon Stone, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it as well, with the whole Manson appearance by Charles Manson and the Manson family, and yeah, it's such a great film. For those of you who didn't check it out at the cinema, I'd definitely pick up the Blu-ray and recommend watching that. But yeah, overall that was my update. I'll just show all the DVDs and Blu-rays. And thank you very much for watching, and more videos coming soon.